What is up, my butter biscuits? So in today's video, I am very, very excited. However, I am very, very nervous because this is something so totally new to me. However, I wanted to challenge myself and talk about something that was actually a little bit more informative and actually do some real research on this, as well as have my general knowledge because I did work for the brand for almost 8 years. I'm going to be talking about the rise and the fall of MAC Cosmetics. And y'all, when I tell you I did my research on this is what I mean. These are literally all of my notes on this topic because I wanted to actually deep dive into it, because I get asked this question so many times. Hey, what's up with MAC? Do you feel like they're a dying brand? How come nobody's really talking about them? Like, once upon a time, they were literally the biggest makeup selling brand in the entire world, with the exception of drugstore brands, because drugstore brands obviously have been the #1 selling makeup brand in the world. MAC was #1, and now they're kind of dwindling out because so much competition. So I did so much research on this, and I do just have to give you guys like a little bit of a warning before going into this. I do have some type of like attention disorder, because I've mentioned this to you guys before. I've always wanted to do my makeup while talking about chisme. However, I just can't focus on two things at once. I don't know what is up with my brain. I find it so hard to just focus. So in today's video, I have a lot of notes, like y'all saw a whole lot of notes. So I do apologize if I kind of bounce back and forth, and I do apologize if I look at my phone for my notes, because this is something so new to me, y'all. I literally took this as like I was doing a research paper for like a school class, you know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted to be a little bit more informative, as well as challenge myself to do something new. So if you guys like this style of video, please give it a big thumbs up, because I would really appreciate that. If y'all are new here, hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications. Please, y'all, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Well, hit that too, but hit the thumbs up button, because it'll let me know that you guys like this style of video, as well as, you know, it'll help me out, because I don't know, I'm a little nervous about this because I've never done anything like this before, and I just wanted to challenge myself to do something new and something a little bit more deep and more informative. So y'all let me know your thoughts and opinions on it, and let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, y'all, so to start this off, I'm going to be telling you guys the rise portion of MAC Cosmetics. So just in case you guys did not know, MAC was actually created and founded in 1984 in Toronto, Canada. It was actually created by Frank and Frank, two males, one photographer and one makeup artist. This is, ironically enough, one of the things that I used to get like, oh my gosh, so much scrutiny when I worked at MAC. A lot of people would still come in and say, oh my gosh, I do not want a man doing my makeup. Like, men don't know how to do makeup like girls know how to do makeup. And I would sit there and say, like, did you actually know that MAC Cosmetics was created by two men? They actually created the brand. So it's kind of funny when a lot of people at the time, y'all, picture this like, you know, 8-10 years ago, people coming into the counter and saying, I don't want a man to do my makeup because men just don't know how to do it. And I'm sitting here like, well, that's funny, because you're coming into MAC and it was created by two men, which I always thought was actually really cool. So to give you a little bit of history on Frank and Frank, the co-founders of MAC Cosmetics, and actually the creators of MAC Cosmetics, one was a photographer and one was a makeup artist who actually owned a salon. The whole reason why they decided to make MAC Cosmetics is because they felt like whenever they were doing any photography type of work or any makeup that was going to be on photography work, that the pigmentation wasn't really there. The makeup looked kind of dull. It wasn't what it needed to be for photography, as well as for studio makeup too. So what they did is they actually took to their kitchen to formulate some products, y'all. They were literally busting Breaking Bad inside their kitchen before Breaking Bad was ever a thing, and they formulated all their products within their kitchens, which is kind of a trip to me to think how creative and how like innovative these people are to actually do this. So within their kitchen, they created MAC Cosmetics, which those of you who do not know, MAC stands for Makeup Art Cosmetics, which is kind of weird when you think about it, because Makeup Art Cosmetics, because now it's known as MAC Cosmetics, doesn't really go. However, MAC is an acronym for that. So y'all, this was created in 1984, and they got their really big start as soon as Madonna was seen wearing this bright, like velvety matte lipstick, which actually looks like my backdrop right now, which is now known as Ruby Woo lipstick. So Madonna actually came forward and she was wearing a MAC shirt, and everyone's like, whoa, what's MAC Cosmetics? What's this lipstick that you're wearing? And it turns out that it was MAC lipstick. So therefore, MAC became a really big popular brand. They got their big breakthrough during this point, which is at the late 80s. In the early 90s, actually, they opened their first store within America, which was in New York. And this was in 1991. And then in 1994, they got this like really big break too, because they created the Viva Glam campaign, which those of you guys know, I'll go to put a picture right up here. This is actually, in my personal opinion, opinion, the most iconic imagery that MAC has ever done, because they had RuPaul on it spelling out Viva Glam with his body. And this actually, I do think that Jeffree Star did take inspiration from this within his new O palette collection. Y'all, this one to me was just so big and so major. I know at the time, obviously, I was like only 4 years old. However, growing up, I did see it when I was like 10 and 11. I'm like, oh my gosh, there was something about it that I was just drawn to. So to give you guys a little brief explanation of the Viva Glam project, in 1994, this was actually created by Frank and Frank because they wanted to do something to help out with the HIV/AIDS pandemic that was going on. So they created this charity lipstick program. So anytime you purchased a lipstick from Viva Glam, 100% full proceeds would go to the research of AIDS as well as help out people that were affected by it. So it's a really cool program, and actually, till this date, they've raised over $500 million. They are actually the number one non-pharmaceutical company to donate that much money to the research as well as helping people affected by this plague. You know, it was obviously looked at in a very negative way, and they're the ones who brought it to light and actually made people feel that it was okay, you know, because it was obviously very stigmatized back in the day, and people looked at it like, oh my gosh, ew. However, MAC brought it to the forefront and said, look, this is something that we're living with. This is something that we need to combat together and fight together, and they really put it on the map. So this actually made people drawn to the brand because they were saying, wow, you know what, they're doing a really good thing, they're doing a positive thing, something that a lot of other brands were probably a little bit too scared to do during this time, because it was just seen as a topic of taboo in the 90s, you know, that people are like, let's not talk about that, let's keep it hush hush. However, MAC was like, no, we need to start a conversation, we need to talk about this, because that's the only way that we're going to make things better. Also, another thing, because that was one of the main reasons people were drawn to the brand, because they thought it was really cool. You know, other people who needed help during this time were like, wow, MAC Cosmetics is standing out and doing something. Another thing that another reason why people were drawn to MAC is for their Back to MAC program, which a lot of you guys asked me about this before on my live, because a lot of people say, you know what, there's just so much waste going on in the makeup industry. However, MAC has been doing their program, their recycling program, for decades now. And actually, back in the day, it used to be when you return 5 products, you get a free lipstick. However, now when you return 6 products, you get a free lipstick, lip gloss, or an eyeshadow. And this is actually a really cool incentive to get people to recycle. And what they do, and a lot of people don't know that they do this, is they actually take the materials and they turn them into park benches, they turn them into bus benches. I believe in Australia they turn them into cement, as well as they break it down to create other products as well too. So it's 100% completely recyclable, because I know a lot of people this day and age are all about, you know, the environment and doing things that are good for the environment. However, a lot of people were really uneducated with what Back to MAC was. A lot of people just say, you know what, I take my products back to get a free lipstick, but they don't know that they're actually doing a really good thing by doing this. So don't throw away your MAC containers. Don't throw away your MAC containers. Make sure you guys take them in, because that way you guys can get a free product as well as help out the universe, because y'all, we need it right now, especially with all these fires that are going on. It is just a trip. So do what's right, return those products. And this is another reason why people were just really, really drawn to the brand. They were saying, you know what, they're the first brand that's doing something that's environmentally good. A lot of the drugstore brands, actually, to my knowledge, all of the drugstore brands were not doing any recycling programs like this. So now, obviously, a lot of brands like Lush Cosmetics, as you guys know, do the same thing. When you return 5 containers, you do get like a free mask, and I think that's a really, really good thing. A lot of people don't know about this, and I do feel like the brand should actually make a better note to this to people, because honestly, even while I worked there, people just said, okay, I'm turning in my products, I don't know what I'm turning them in for, but I just want my free lipstick. I feel like the brand should do something to make it a little bit known, because when I was on my live video and I was telling people about this, they were like, what, I had no idea that they did that. So I think it's actually really, really cool thing. And like I said, in Australia, the fact that they turn it and break it into cement, which obviously we need cement to create things. So I think it's a really cool thing. I just think that they need to do a little bit better of a job explaining it to people, so that way people are a little bit more incentivized, is that even a word, incentivized, to return their products as well as recycle, because it's doing good for the environment. I forgot to mention in the beginning of this too, the whole reason why MAC stood out compared to any other brand out there is because they were doing something that was so bold, so vibrant, and so different compared to what's on the market. A lot of the things that were found at drugstores, which were the most popular brands back in the day, were just a little bit more, I don't want to say basic, but I do kind of mean to say basic, as to where MAC actually started putting their products into black components and black compacts and black containers. Everyone was like, whoa, this is something so different, because if y'all look back at pictures back in the day of compacts, it was not black. They were just traditional, just regular see-through or clear or even like beige components, as to where MAC really stood out, because they were a black compact with white writing. which a lot of brands, as we know this day and age, have taken a little bit of inspiration from Mac and ended up having black components with white writing. Obviously Morphe now does this, but they stood out because back in the day they didn't have this. Everyone's kind of like, whoa. As well as they had a number one slogan that people were just drawn to, which was all races, all ages, all sexes. And I think this is something that a lot of brands actually took inspiration from till this day, because everyone looked at Mac and said, wow, I feel accepted here. I feel like I belong here. So anybody who was an outcast or the black sheep of the family would shop at Mac because they felt like they were a part of it. You know, Mac was actually a family. So it drew people in because people were like, whoa, this is something so different and so unique compared to what's out there. It was the first brand of its kind. And this is why I say, you know what, it is kind of sad to see Mac go on the decline, because they really set the trend in so many ways. And honestly, y'all, I compare it to like the rap industry with Biggie and Tupac. I wonder where the makeup industry would be without Mac, because they really did set so many trends. However, we're going to start getting into the decline of Mac. And this is where I think that a lot of people from back in the day thought that Mac was going to go downhill from this point on. So in 1994, actually, Estee Lauder did purchase 51% of Mac. And a lot of people are like, whoa, the brand is going to change, because Estee Lauder is something, you know, they're known to be a little bit more basic. They're more known to be a little bit more commercial friendly, let's say, as to where Mac is known to be a little bit more underground, a little bit more hip. So people were like, whoa, I feel like the brand is going to change. It's not going to be what it used to be. So they did purchase the brand 51% in 1994, and in 1998 they fully purchased the brand, which during this time in 1998 the brand was valued at $250 million, which, think of, back in the day, 1998, this was seen as a lot of money. Obviously now we know this day and age all the brands are worth like billions of dollars, you know, but back then that was a whole lot of money. So a lot of people were saying, oh my gosh, now that it's 100% owned by Estee Lauder, things are going to change. And honestly, I worked with a lot of old timers, that's what we called them when we worked at Mac, and a lot of people said this brand was so amazing before Estee Lauder fully owned it, because they were working there in the 90s, you know. However, I say the whole time that I worked there underneath the Estee Lauder umbrella, you know, it got its problems, okay? I made a video about that, so you guys can click back on my channel and check that out. However, we're not discussing that in today's video. So in 1998, I want to mention this, they were worth $250 million. 10 years later, they were valued at $500 million. We're going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit here to now, actually 2017. We're going to call that the now, because this is the most recent net worth that I can find. They are actually valued at $6.3 billion, which is a whole lot of money. And here's the thing right here, and this is why I say a lot of the downfall of Mac actually happened underneath the Estee Lauder umbrella, is because yes, they did take the brand to new heights. They took it international, and they obviously got it to be a billion-dollar brand. However, them taking it international may have been the decline, because a lot of people obviously found out, hey, they're selling to China, and China has this market to where actually by law over there they have to test on animals. So within the United States, I believe, as well as Australia and Canada, the brand is completely cruelty free. However, in China, they are not. And this was actually one of my main frustrations during the time while I worked at Mac, because we had a lot of protests. We had a lot of people coming in and like bashing us, the employees, for working there, because they were saying this brand is not cruelty free. They test on animals, they hurt animals. And I'm sitting here saying, whoa, 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 that's not the case. Because if you purchase your products here in America, they are actually cruelty free. The brand may not necessarily be labeled as cruelty free because they do sell in China. But if you are an American citizen, for example, and purchase your products within America, these are 100% not tested on animals. It is 100% cruelty free. However, I get people's argument in the aspect of, yes, they sell in China, and you know, consumers want them to stop selling in China because they do test on animals. However, if you are here in America, if you do purchase in America, it is cruelty free. So it was very frustrating for me, because I'm like, whoa, I felt like, you know, during these times of protest, for those of you who worked at Mac during this time, it was very rough, because we're like, whoa, the brand is cruelty free here. Like, really, you should be taking this protest to China, because they're the ones who are obviously, you know, they require it by law to do testing on animals. So it's 100% their choice to do that. And I do want to mention as well too, Mac never pays anyone at all, including China, to test on animals. That is 100% China's government's doing. They're the ones who test on animals. So it's just kind of like, Mac at this point obviously wants to open up to China, because obviously they are a huge society with like, what, 1.1 billion people. I think there's like literally billions of people within China. So not billions, but like 1.1 billion, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, y'all, they wanted to open up to that market for revenue. So there's a lot of people who say, you know what, stop selling in China, because, you know, We don't like that, and we want our brands to be cruelty free. All right, y'all. So moving on here within the decline of MAC, and a lot of you guys may not really care about this or like think too much of it. However, if you worked at MAC, you know what I'm talking about. So MAC has prided itself before for being very exclusive, meaning that it's exclusive to high-end department stores as well as like Macy's, because I wouldn't necessarily consider them a high-end department store. Maybe once upon a time, however, not now. Within the past couple of years, they started selling at Ulta, which was a big decline within MAC because people were saying, whoa, what happened to the exclusivity of MAC, being that you had to go to a more prestige place to purchase this product? Now they're putting it out there, and they're actually having discounts on products, as well as they have them within TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls. You can find MAC Cosmetics, and I'm talking about before the pandemic, because I know now obviously a lot of brands are like seeing within TJ Maxx and Marshalls and Ross, because obviously they have to get rid of their product before they go bad. This was beforehand. So as soon as MAC started going there, because they started having a surplus of product, and they're like, whoa, you know what, we got to start putting our products there, they decided to partner up with Ulta. And here's the thing about this, and a lot of people don't really care about this, you know, but if you're into artistry, then maybe you will. A lot of the reason why people were like, whoa, it's a trip that they're going to Ulta, is because being a MAC artist, you were actually trained on product knowledge, and you were trained as an artist, as well as, you know, upcoming trends and techniques to obviously apply onto, you know, your customer, on your client. So the biggest thing for us as artists during the time when we found out that they were going to be going to Ulta is, whoa, it's supposed to be exclusive to these places, because we're obviously trained to know about the product, to use the product, and to actually apply that product onto somebody. So being that it's actually going to Ulta, it's going to be a decline within the brand, because it's not going to be able to sell as good as it would be able to sell within a freestanding MAC store or within a partnered MAC location, meaning at a high-end department store or Macy's. So this was as seen to us as one of the declines, because we're like, whoa, it's going to be going to these places. However, it's not going to be able to sell as well as it would within a trained MAC artist's hands, which to my knowledge, I do believe that some Ultas have like a MAC counter within their stores, and there's trained MAC artists within there. I could be wrong about that. I'm really not too sure. Y'all can let me know in the comment section down below. But to my understanding, it's like that. Y'all, I left MAC 2 years ago, so I don't really know the full story of that. I was actually leaving MAC right when they started to transition going into Ulta. So that was actually seen as one of the reasons why they were on the decline, because the exclusivity. Which I forgot to mention, by the way. I don't know if y'all remember, but like 10 years ago, MAC was only able to be found discounted at the cosmetic company outlet, which, y'all, this was literally one of my favorite things to do. I used to call each location that was around me. I think there was like only 3 during the time, and I would call them. Actually, to be honest with you, I don't even know if the cosmetic company outlet is still around. But anyways, off topic. I used to call them and say, when are you guys gonna get in new shipments? And I would literally be there as soon as they open their doors, just to get discounted MAC, because that was the one and only place that you can get discounted MAC. So obviously MAC prided itself on like not being able to discount their products. They sold them just to cosmetic company outlet, and that is literally it. It's kind of like the Louis Vuitton brand of makeup, obviously back then, not now, because now obviously you can find them discounted anywhere. All right, so moving forward here with the decline of MAC, and this one right here, I just have to say before we go into it, is 100% my personal opinion on why they're declining, and that is because of social media. But I do base my opinion on experience, because while I was working at MAC, they were just so behind to create Instagram accounts, and I do mean for each individual location as well as MAC Cosmetics as a whole. And the reason why they didn't do this, in my personal opinion, because I don't have any facts on this, is because of their stubbornness and because of their pride. Just in case you guys did not know this, MAC literally before like 5-6 years ago never paid for any advertising at all. They literally got all their advertisement for free because they were backed by so many celebrities. So just so you guys know, they literally never paid for a commercial. They never paid for any commercials on YouTube. They didn't pay for any sponsored posts, nothing like that. They literally got all their advertisement for free, and they were world renowned. So I do think there was a little bit of stubbornness to get on social media. They were kind of like, you know what? We don't really need social media, right? However, their competitors started coming up on Instagram. Like, perfect example is obviously Morphe. Morphe started with the whole Instagram thing, and then they obviously gave influencers a 10% off code, which then turned Morphe into a $2.2 billion brand, y'all. So this is where I say I think that they should have like moved forward with social media a little bit faster, because it is free advertisement. And I know you may be thinking to yourself right now, well, MAC is actually one of the most followed beauty Instagram accounts, or I should say makeup brand accounts on social media. However, they were just a little bit too late to it. You know, I think the reason why they have one of the most followers on Instagram within a beauty brand is specifically because MAC is obviously world renowned and known in like every single country in the world. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that those are all customers. You know what I mean? They may just be drawing inspiration to it or following MAC just because it's MAC and they're familiar with MAC. You get me? Anyways, moving forward here, and this one right here just does not make any sense to me. It does go into the social media whole situation because they actually came out with one collaboration with Patrick Star, not even necessarily one collaboration, but four. They came out with 4 collections with Patrick Star, and y'all, while I was working there, this collection was literally sold out immediately at my location every single time, and lines were out the door when they were being released. And this is a trip to me because I think that Mac should know by now that was a huge success. His products literally sold out immediately, and people were literally asking for his powder like a year after it was sold out. So I always thought to myself, why haven't they moved forward with doing any more influencer collaborations? Because yes, they do move forward with celebrity collaborations. However, I feel like this day and age, people are a little bit more drawn to and a little bit more close to beauty influencers or even social media influencers in general, because we get to see them obviously like on a little bit more of a personal level, I would say, that you don't really see any celebrities on. So I'm kind of tripped out that they don't do this, because I do feel like it would bring the brand back to life, and I do feel like this is where Morphe is a little bit more ahead of them, because they obviously do, you know, social media influencer or beauty influencer collaborations left and right, like literally every other week. And I feel like Mac should obviously get back on that, because the Patrick Star situation was so successful, y'all. And I'm talking about the lines were out the door just like they were for Selena and Marilyn Monroe and for any Disney collection, because y'all, if you guys like Mac at all, you guys know any Mac Disney collection was just like on and popping. The lines were insane. I dreaded working there during those days, so I was like, oh my gosh, we have so much like of it. So people were just like out the door. My final reason for the downfall of MAC Cosmetics is just simply the competition. There's obviously a million brands out there. There is just brands for everything. And once upon a time, MAC literally was perfect day-to-day makeup, as well as drag makeup, as well as character makeup, as well as stage makeup. They literally were the go-to brand for it all. And now when you look out there in the market, there is thousands, if not millions, of competitors that obviously people to choose to purchase over them, because in my personal opinion, I always go back to social media. I feel like people choose to purchase from these other brands is specifically because of social media. A lot of you know, beauty influencers, as well as, you know, character makeup artists are using other brands, and I feel like MAC started to follow the trend rather than be the trend. And once upon a time, they were the trend. So I think that it's just a trip to see where things go. But all in all, I just want to say I truly feel that MAC is actually an iconic brand. I do feel like they deserve all the recognition. And like I said before, I truly wonder where the makeup industry would be without MAC, because y'all, like it or not, MAC really did set so many trends out there. And honestly, I just have to say this, I do feel like Morphe drew so much inspiration from MAC, because if you look at their whole aesthetic and look at MAC's aesthetic, that was MAC before, you know what I'm saying? So I just really wonder where the makeup industry would be without MAC. But y'all can let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. Let me know what you guys think about this video. I'm sorry if I stuttered. I'm sorry if I kind of like jumped all over the place. But like I said, this was my first time doing something like this, and I hope you guys liked it. If you guys did, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Let me know your thoughts, okay? Because I really want to hear them. And I'll catch y'all on my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.